I am happy to be joined with the CEO of Labs, Kiran Sidhu. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excellent. Great to have you back on. How's life been over the last few months with COVID as this industry is rapidly maturing, obviously, for what's happened the last couple of weeks with the U.S. election results?
Well, I mean, they are very positive. We know that it's, what is it now? It's the worst case is 52-48.
Yep.
In terms of Mitch McConnell. I think odds are Mitch McConnell will still control the Senate. McConnell, everyone knows McConnell and Biden have a great working relationship. McConnell, when Biden's son died, was the only Republican senator who attended that funeral.
Interesting. Okay.
So from a working perspective, they have a great working perspective. A lot of people say, well, McConnell's still going to block, safe harbor. He's going to block a lot of things. My view is he cannot do it because Collins and Murkowski, and we already saw it with them trying to pack, again, the Fed Reserve and Trump getting shut down just yesterday, that you have moderate Republican senators from Maine and Alaska in particular,
yep.
That have recreational medical marijuana programs that will be supportive of banking, that will be supportive of allowing us to get traditional financing, will be supportive of us listing on NASDAQ. The second thing I want to point out is descheduling can be done by executive order. It doesn't involve Congress.
Right.
So let's say hypothetically that Biden deschedules. Then if it's descheduled, you got this, just among Oregon, Nevada, and California, there's been talk of having sort of a continuum of where all three states share both product as well as open the borders.
Okay.
That allows things like that to start happening. And part of the reason that we've been so gung-ho on Oregon is that Oregon is, in my opinion, the best place in North America to grow cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Why? A, it's the perfect environment. B, it has a tradition of growing where we're at in the northern tip of the Emerald Triangle. And three, we have low labor costs. And the last thing is we have a favorable regulatory environment, where in California, in order to get a grow permanently licensed, you have to go through what's known as a CEQA study, which involves 20 agencies.
Wow.
In Oregon, we have no such matter. We get a license, we go to our county, we apply, and we start growing.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is in multiple states, you have what's known as cultivation taxes.
Okay.
So in addition to 20 to 30% tax at the retail level, you have up to another 10 to 12% tax at the cultivator level.
Yeah.
You see that in Nevada, you see that in California, and you see that in a lot of eastern states. We have no such taxes like that in Oregon. Now, when we're working in California, we work with all of those taxes. But what it does is it creates an artificially inflated price. Hence, you see, still substantial large black market activity, both in Nevada and in California.
Right.
You do not see that black market activity within the state of Oregon. And what I mean by that is my price of shatter is $6. Okay. That means that I'm out the door, if people want to take it out the door, let's say $5, we're out the door at $11.
Yep.
If someone's going to go to the street and buy shatter, they're going to be buying it for $9.
Right.
So for an extra $2, they're going to get something that they know is safe and that's good and that's tested. So that is why you're not seeing so much what I call black market activity within Oregon. Obviously, Oregon is still a net exporter, as is California, because the prices on the East Coast are so high.
Right.
So where my cost of manufacturing in Oregon, say 23, 24% THC, really good DNA and Skittles product is around 220. The indoor cost of a grower in Massachusetts or in New York doing that is still well over 500 to 600 pounds.
Interesting.
Granted, their stuff is at 30%.
Well said. Well, let's continue on the topic of Oregon. You made an announcement earlier today with the acquisition of Windberry Farms, which is based out of Oregon. On paper, this potentially gives you a 30% market share within the state of Oregon. Why does this deal make sense for you, Halo Labs, and its investors?
It's a tremendous deal. And the reason is first of all, let's look at Windberry versus Halo. So Halo's brands in Oregon, Hush, Exhale, Ave, which by themselves are the third or fourth largest brand in the state, are all what we call value brands.
Okay.
So we've built Halo to be a value provider. What that means is to give you the best possible product at the lowest possible cost. So for instance, we just launched a 10 by 10 pack, 10 milligram gummy product.
Okay.
That gummy product is a pectin-based product. The pectin comes from Spain. Every ingredient in it is non-GMO. We can't call it non-GMO because the oil is still federally illegal, and you can't get a non-GMO classification for the distillate.
Okay. Yep, makes sense.
But everything else is that way. So we have a vegan product that is non-GMO, that is gluten-free, that has the highest ingredients, and in terms of a 10-pack, it's lower than anyone else on the market.
How important is that?
Other ones are using gelatin. They're doing, ours is a gorgeous product. And if I put it in a dope cup, it's going to finish top 3, but I'm selling it at a price that is competitive with everyone else. And we're still clearing a great margin, 45, 50%.
Well, your earnings earlier this month, 30% quarter over quarter growth, positive EBITDA was obtained, which appears to be ahead of schedule. Saying all this, how should investors, I guess, read into your latest earnings report?
Okay. So first of all, I was speaking to Blake Corbett, who's the head of investment banking at PI, just before this call.
Okay.
I said, Kiran, one thing you got to explain to people is that part of what goes into our numbers and makes our numbers strong in the fourth quarter is the fact that we bring down all our biological assets.
Okay.
So there's 2 million of gains on biological assets. But what Blake said is explain to people that even if you strip that out, we still have positive EBITDA.
Yeah.
But the most critical thing we have is we have pure operating cash flow. We have real operating cash flow. What other companies have actually said, put their hands up and said, we have positive operating cash flow? There are only a handful of them. True Relief, Air, and GTI.
Okay.
So that's, in my mind, rare air. We're one of maybe 4 or 5 companies on a larger scale that have positive operating cash flow. And I see no reason why that does not continue in the future. And so I'm going to give you one example of that. So right now in my barns, and as I'm going to go out to the farms today, we probably have $10 million to $8 million of biomass, A buds, B buds, and trim.
Okay.
All of that is paid for, meaning that it's grown, it's harvested. My incremental cost per pound is maybe $50 to bring it to market. Okay. So I'm going to have in the next 2 quarters a cash benefit of probably 6 to 7 million pounds. $6 to $7 million. Okay. As I bring that to market. So
do you see the momentum growing even that much more with what's happened with the election 2 weeks ago as well?
Right now, it's the perfect timing, meaning we have the election. We have low-end Hush brands in Oregon. We have high-end Winberry brands in Oregon. We now have a great portfolio of brands in California. We have the Feel Better brands we're launching in Q1 with G-Eazy. We have our Hush brands starting to take hold in California. And now we have the Winberry brands, which will be for, let's call it the higher end, the middle end soccer mom type of market, whereas the Feel Better stuff is much more professional. So we're starting actually to position brands both in Oregon and California. The other thing that's happening in California is we're going to be massive cultivators. I mean, with RX and the Green Matter guys, you're looking at the largest grow north of San Francisco and south of Portland.